Hello and welcome back to another video. So today I'm doing another tiny house, and this one is actually going to be a tier 2 tiny home. And here I am trying to figure out the floor plan. And I've been really into kind of creating a front porch recently. So here's me trying to figure that one out. But I decided to do a little bit something different in the end because I thought just the size of the house, it didn't really work well with where I wanted to place this front porch, so I scrapped it. And some nice windows. I'm really trying to explore my window choices. So here's these. I don't think I've used these in a build on my channel before. And I was still kind of set on creating at least like some little outdoor porch area or something, so I still put up a little overhang in case there is rain in the desert. um, and I'm just playing around with the floor plan, trying to make that little porch area work, but I give up on it. And so it still has some space up front later on, but it just has a little overhang on a column for support. And here I'm trying to play around to make sure I fully utilize the space in this tier. So I didn't want to go up to a small home, but I didn't want to do a micro home. So I wanted to use my 64 tiles the best way that I could. And so I decided to do kind of like a galley style house. And the bedrooms all the way on the side with the bathroom. And I did the door placement that way. So it maximizes the actual usable floor space. Because instead of having two tiles taken up in one room by a single door, you put the doors next to each other in a corner, and so the Sims can go through that seamlessly. And I was thinking of doing an orange kitchen because I was thinking, oh, desert, orange would be fun. But then I take it in a crazy direction and I end up going with a teal kitchen. And I've been doing a lot of dark kitchens lately, so this is why I didn't stick with this color palette. And I do switch out that fridge, even though it was cool, it just wasn't the look that I kind of felt the house was going towards. So I switch it out for not this one. This kitchen went through a lot of changes. It almost became like a red kitchen because of those appliances, but it didn't feel right. And when I saw this color combination, I saw that the fridge and the stove came in that swatch, I decided to full send it and go for it because I've never done a kitchen in this color. I usually don't work with these kind of colors just because that's not my building style, so I decided to try something different, but I still did a neutral wall, so let the color pop. And this was kind of like 60s, mid-century inspired, so that's why I have that linoleum flooring, and also why the colors end up being what they are in the rest of the build. Here's some items from Tiny Living. I really like the swatches for that Tiny Living items have for this house because I usually don't use teal, but then the couch had a teal pillow, so I thought, okay, gotta do it. But then the chairs, the coloring on the chairs I think is a little much out of my comfort zone, so I end up switching the chairs to a more neutral swatch. And I do a little storage. I never actually used that storage cabinet to the left of the TV. I didn't really know we had it. So I threw it in this build because I thought, oh, it would be a nice way to use some wall space. I think it is a bookshelf. And it's not the bookshelf that most people use that comes with Tiny Living. And of course a desk because Sims like their office space so they can have a computer. And I didn't want to put a computer on the table because we had a room for it in the little entryway. So I thought, why not? This rug is also from Tiny Living. I just really tried to play with patterns and colors in this build. And when I saw those pillows, I thought, what better way to match the kitchen than with that swatch? And because it is a smaller bedroom, I put the bed off to the side. I had a little teal poof, and I think I turned it white. But I didn't like the poofs on both sides, so I switched it out. And some nice shades for privacy since the bedroom is in the front of the house. Those blinds look very thick, but that's how the game made them. And I couldn't really decide on a rug because there's just so much going on in that room. Especially with the swatch that the bed is, the colors in the bedspread. I just couldn't decide. But I think I end up keeping that one because it has some of the colors. And like I said, I really wanted to play with colors and patterns in this build. And I decided to go up for a pink bathroom because I don't think I've done one. And it also kind of gives a little continuity from the pink in the bedroom to the pink in the bathroom, and then it also remains in the style of 60's inspired. So it's a pretty cute bathroom. A nice little mirror. And this is at the point where the build has most of the basics down, so it's me just decorating it at this point. Can't forget plants. A microwave. And that teal microwave looked cool, but I thought it was just a little bit too much teal. So I changed it to white. I added that hood for the range. And then here I thought of how I was going to do the outside. So I kind of did like a walk up. And I also decided to put a grill in the back, but actually it gets a new home later on. I thought about doing some terrain paint detailing, but I decided this was not the build for that. And that's when I came up with the idea of doing a desert front yard landscaping. So I've seen this done in a few shows on HGTV where in more arid climates they do kind of just like a greenery lawn instead of just grass because it's more ecologically minded, it's less maintenance and upkeep. So I thought that's a cool idea to put in this house specifically because of the location. So I just put a ton of plants. And I slowly keep adding them throughout the entire build until I was completely satisfied with how the arrangement was laid out, and a few cacti here and there. Rocks, of course, because when I'm doing landscaping, I really like to look at what's in the area. So if you look to the left, you can see there's like an agave plant and some white flowers. So that was the inspiration for the first few plants that I put down. And once I had that base, I just went wild with a bunch of different plants. A lot of plants from the Island Paradise pack. Forgot what it's called, but Sulani comes with it. And so that was also a lot of the items that I used for the landscaping. I always switch to night mode to place lighting because then you get a more true idea of what it's going to render as. I toggle grid on and off so I can make sure the placement's how I want it because I really like symmetry and just like even placement when it comes to items like lights, outside, or specific decor items. That's why you'll see me sometimes toggle the grid on and off. And you can do that by pressing G on the keyboard. So here's what I was talking about with that overhang. And I thought it just looked a little odd that it didn't have a column because in real life you would usually have a column on the other side for support. So I added that detailing. Some roofing earlier on since I already had the floor plan laid out. And I put the grill off to the side. Some stonework. it was hard to choose the stonework because of the area, and the outside of the house doesn't really reflect the inside. So the inside is super colorful and the outside is super neutral to blend in with the neighborhood. And I also put a little trash can by the grill. And that corkboard I thought just was really cute for the little office space. That nice vintage looking phone and the seashell chair, I just think really encapsulates the vibe of that era that I was trying to recreate. And that closet is super cool because it's space saving. It's has a small profile and it still has a lot of nice slots to put items on. And it was a lot nicer than just like a simple dresser. Of course, would a room be without a plant? Even though I did put one in the bathroom this time. Some nice curtains. And I realized, oh, a nice plant by the entryway will be fun. And of course, a trash can, because I put one outside, I needed to put one inside. And the kitchen is a lot more bare than I'm used to doing because of the space and the fact that I added a microwave. So it took up an entire tile in the kitchen, but I'm fine with that since realistically Sims only use one of the counters that you do give them for cooking because the game always seems to route them to the nearest one or just a very specific one when they are set to cook. So that's why they'll be fine with one counter. And I thought it was really neat to put that shelving above the sink, especially for a house of this size, because you're trying to maximize space as much as you can. So adding little shelving on the wall really makes a difference of how you can organize your things. And I like that paper towel rack. I used it in, it might be the Sulani build, I think. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I used it in a build. And that one was really cool, but because I chose to put a shelf above the sink, I just didn't have the right spot for it. And I do end up going with a seashell towel rack in the bathroom and for the hand towel because I think it really kind of nodded to the chair in the bedroom. And that coat hook that I just switched colors on, well, I looked at the swatches, is actually custom content, and I haven't tried it, but it's supposed to be a fully functional dresser, so that's actually a really cool idea for tiny houses, well, micro houses especially, because you have a dresser with just a little hook. And this bar cart is fully functional. I used it in my Regina build. That's also on my channel. And I've used this bar cart and it's fantastic. No glitches, no anything. And it really changes up the space and lets your Sims play with their mixology skill without having to have a full bar or mixology books. I thought the arch was cool, but it was just a little bit too much. And the front yard is taking its final form, and it looks like a lot of plants, which it is, but I decided to go for it. And here's the house tour, a little closer view of the little front garden, the inside, little family area space, a little more focus in the kitchen and office area. Here's a nice shot of the kitchen. And I like how the teal really pops, even with the cushions, in the bedroom with the pink chair, which I love, and the pink bathroom with the little teal accent on the tub. and the little outdoor area with the grill and the garbage can. And that's the house. Thank you for watching.